Hi, Mika from Superchat here. In today's video, we will take a close look at all the features that come with our unified inbox. We will have an additional video that you can find below with a lot of advanced features that help you work even more effectively and even faster in our inbox. But let's now start with the essentials. So today we will really work from left to right. So let's start at the very left-hand side with drafts and scheduled messages. So here you can already see we have three tabs: drafts, scheduled, and sent. In drafts, we can see all our draft messages. So currently I only have one here. It's via email with this customer. So if I click on it, you can already see I have a draft message here that I haven't sent yet. And now I can go back. And now we will take a look at scheduled. Scheduled, here we will list all the messages that you have scheduled for a later point in time. Then send are really all the messages that you sent. It makes it just easier if yesterday sent out a message to a customer and you completely forgot the name of the customer. So you can just come here into this tab and it makes it just like a lot easier to find that conversation again. Exactly. Continuing with all conversations and all these tabs here, these are really like the most important filters that you are going to work with. So all conversations assigned to me, not assigned, unread, highlighted, trash, and spam. These filters really work across all inboxes that you have access to. And then you can also already see the inboxes listed down below. So again, like these filters work across all inboxes that you have access to. And now you can also work with specific inboxes. And what are inboxes? Inboxes are basically just a collection of different communication channels. And you can use them for different departments, for example. So if you want to use Superchat not only in sales, but also support, recruiting, you would just go ahead and create an inbox for each department and then invite the respective team from sales support. And the same, of course, also applies to other use cases. If you have different locations, you would do exactly the same. Then here you are able to collapse these inboxes, and then you can again find the same filters that you also have here listed on top of all the inboxes. Exactly. With that, we can already continue with the conversation preview list. So like here we have the send new message button. So here you can just type in the contact or the phone number, email address. Then here specify from which email address or phone number, WhatsApp number you want to send the message from. Write your message and then you can also already send it. Then down below, we can already see like our statuses. So we have three statuses: opened, snoozed, and done. These just help you and your team to basically keep your entire inbox a lot more organized. So every time contact sends you a new message, the conversation will end up in open. Then as soon as you are done with messaging and like responding to that customer because the issue was resolved, or we close the customer as a paid customer, we'll then be able to set the conversation to done. This will then lead to the conversation like showing up here. And then every time the contact sends yet another message, it will end up in open again for you and your team to know that you have to respond again. Then you can set up reminders, snooze the conversation. So let's say the customer is not yet ready to buy your product or your service, or someone has an issue and you are waiting for feedback from your IT department. Then you can set up reminders and basically move the conversation to snoozed until a specific time. So here we have an example for that. So here on Facebook, Tim wrote us a message asking if we still have our SuperCloud couch in stock. I already responded saying, hey, we don't have it in stock, but we are expecting new ones in 2 weeks. So he responded that we are able to send him an update once we have it in stock again. So therefore, I just set myself a reminder for in 2 weeks to reach out again to this customer. So it's like really handy for follow-ups. Exactly. Going back to open, I think that's it to the statuses. So like here, really, every time a conversation is opened, it's your task to reply to the customer and finish all these conversations that are always in open. Then here we can filter the conversation list by inbox, assignment, label, channel, and so on and so forth. And then here we have 2 additional options to mark all conversation as read and then also mark all conversation as done. Then here with the 3 dots, we can basically access all like features that we are supporting in our unified inbox. So here, without needing to jump into the conversation, we can right away set the conversation to done. We can highlight the conversation. We can snooze the conversation, so really set up a reminder. We can move conversations in between inboxes. We can assign conversations. We can categorize conversations with labels. We can report a spam, and we can also, of course, delete the conversation. Exactly. Now continuing here with the chat timeline. So like I already mentioned all these actions, we of course also have access to all of these features here. And then here we have a conversation search, which is very handy if you only want to find something in a specific conversation, or otherwise we also have a global search. Here you can globally across your account search for messages, attachments, notes, contacts, and so on and so forth. Exactly. I think here we almost covered already everything. 2 more things here. You can share conversations and also specific messages with the team chat. So let's say here the customer is complaining or needs something from you or your team. What you can do is instead working with these internal notes that we will cover in a second. We might want to keep the internal discussion a little bit more private. So what I can do here is I can just say, hey, share this message with the group in the team chat announcements. Hi team, how should we proceed here? And now all I have to do is I have to click on share, and now the conversation was shared. And now if we go into team chat, into announcements, you can already see now we make it super easy for you to have a discussion here, either in a group, public or private group, or also with one-on-one colleagues. And then here I can work with emoji reactions. I can start a discussion here and just keep everything a little bit more private. Exactly. And then here, of course, you can click on this conversation and then jump in between the team chat and that conversation with 1 click, making it very easy to work across team chat and the unified inbox. Exactly. One more thing here, the conversation export. So, once you need an export of that conversation, we make this also very easy. Here you can either immediately download it, or you can also request the export via email. And then here you can even filter if you only want the export from like a specific time span of that conversation. And then we really sent you an entire PDF with all messages, with everything that happened in the conversation, and then also, of course, all attachments that were shared in that conversation. Perfect. Continuing here with the chat timeline, I think here the only thing that's really to cover is here you can work with internal notes. So here, very similar use case to what we did with sharing the conversational message with the team chat. Here you can just do it right in the chat. So here the customer said, hey, I have a problem with my order. How should I proceed? And here I just mentioned a team, like an internal colleague, just said, hey, Alex, could you please take a look at this? Now Alex receives a notification because I mentioned him here, and now he can just follow up with that customer. And this you can easily do here with our internal notes. These are, of course, only visible for internal colleagues and not the end customer. And here you can, again, just work with add mentions. Then the respective team member will be notified so that he actually knows that he has to do something. Exactly. Continuing here then with the chat controller, where we actually can draft messages and then send out messages to customers. Here, of course, you can work with emojis, you can work with GIFs, you can work with attachments. For attachments that you need over and over again, sales materials or support materials, you can just upload them to Superchat. So instead of having to find them on your computer again and again, you can just upload them here, and then we make them accessible via 1 click. Exactly. Then continuing here with voice messages for a lot of repetitive questions that customers ask over and over again. You can create templates here. I also work with variables. Then here you can start automations here, very handy for marketing sequences or also handing over the conversation to an AI chatbot. And yeah, that's basically already it to the chat timeline. Now continuing here to the contact detailed sidebar. Here we can see if the contact is already in a contact list. Really, here we can segment all our contacts into, I don't know, VIP customers, partners, new leads, existing customers, making it then very easy once we try to reach out to these people again to very highly target them, for example, for our WhatsApp newsletter. Exactly. Then here we have all contact information at hand. Of course, this is like completely customizable. So like here, these you can really set up based on your preferences. We have first name, last name, gender, email, and all of these in one overview. Continuing here, we have all files that were shared in this conversation. We can either download specific ones, we can download multiple attachments at once, and then also all the attachments. Here we have filters by files, images, videos. We have the search here. And then here we have an overview of all notes that were shared in that conversation. Again, also like the search. And then last but not least, we have, and that I can show you here, because here there's an active automation going on. You can actually see, hey, there's an active automation ongoing here on this conversation. You can also see it here with the banner, letting the agent, the sales support agent know, hey, you might not want to send a message into this conversation because it might interfere with the AI chatbot, for example, currently talking to the customer. You can also very easily cancel the automation and then manually take over the conversation again. And then here, last but not least, this customer didn't only reach out to us on WhatsApp, but also on email. So here we will always see all conversations with that customer in an easy to understand overview. Exactly, that's it. As I said, this is just an overview of all the essentials that you need to know in order to get started. We have the video for all advanced features below, so definitely also check this out afterwards. And yeah, I hope this was insightful and hopefully see you very soon. And greetings from Berlin. Bye bye.